Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syaura Nurmizan Qistina a final year student in Chemistry Forensic Analysis. Today, I will be presenting my final year project entitled Toward Greener Catalysis, a review on the role of organocatalysts in eco-friendly solvent system, ethanol. Organocatalysis use small organic molecules as catalysts to accelerate the chemical reaction. Compared to metal-based catalysts, organocatalysts are renewable, biodegradable and less toxic, offering a safer alternative. Ethanol is also an ideal green solvent because it is non-toxic, biodegradable and is derived from renewable biomass resources like corn and sugarcane. Using ethanol alongside with organocatalysts will help to replace the harmful metal catalysts and toxic traditional solvent, reducing the environmental pollution and promoting a greener chemical practices. Despite the benefits, many chemical processes still rely on these harmful materials. There is also limited understanding of how organocatalysts perform in ethanol-based system because many studies use different temperature, catalyst loading and solvent conditions, making a reliable comparison difficult. Therefore, this review identifies and compares the existing research on organocatalysis in ethanol to highlight what is already known and what still needs improvement. This study supports sustainable chemical practices in both laboratory and industry by encouraging the use of a safer, renewable and biodegradable materials. It is also can be used to help the future researchers to develop greener alternative, reducing the waste and environmental impact. Review is guided by three main research questions. The first one is what are the optimal reaction conditions for optimizing the yield of organocatalyzed reaction when using ethanol as a solvent? Second, how do different catalyst loading affect the reaction efficiency? And third, how ethanol perform compared to other green solvents? These questions help to identify which part that need to be improved in the future studies. There are three main objectives in this review. The first one is to determine the optimal reaction condition like temperature, polarity and time when using ethanol as the solvent. Second is to evaluate how different catalyst loading affect the yield and reaction time. Third, how ethanol's performance compared to other green solvents like methanol, acetone and water. Here are some examples of the organocatalyzed reaction. In multi-component reaction, Beravan and Decamin in 2023 synthesized polyhydroquinoline derivative in ethanol using trimesic acid functional chitosan as a catalyst, achieving up to 97% yield in just 30 minutes under reflux, which is better than when using water and dimethyl sulfoxide under the same conditions. This shows ethanol's potential in multi-component reaction which combine 3 or more reactants in a single step, reducing the time and minimizing the waste. Next, Ortiz-Bustos et al. In 2022 performed Novo-Negro reaction using malonitrile in ethanol, achieving up to 99% yield in just 30 minutes at the room temperature. However, we can see that when using ethyl cyanoacetate, the yield was similar but needed a longer reaction time and slightly higher temperature. This shows that the optimal reaction condition may vary depending on the substrate used. In contrast, for epoxidation reaction, Poisatides et al. In 2024 said that dichloromethane outperformed ethanol under the same condition, giving 100% yield compared to ethanol's 90%. This shows that ethanol's polar and protic nature may not be suitable for all reaction mechanism, highlighting the importance of catalyst-solvent compatibility. Now, I will explain on the gaps that I have identified based on the research question. There are clear inconsistencies where in multi-component reactions, some studies run at a room temperature while the others use reflux. The reaction time can vary from few minutes up to several hours. The solvent's polarity effects in this reaction are rarely tested. In Novo-Negro reaction, the conditions vary depending on the catalyst used. Some can react quickly at the room temperature while the others may require higher temperature and longer reaction time for a better yield. In epoxidation, ethanol sometimes underperforms compared to other solvents even under identical conditions. However, some catalysts works well in ethanol, giving high yield around 90 to 98%. The reaction time also vary across the study, where it can be from few hours up to 72 hours. Next, for the catalyst loading, the results are mixed, where in multi-components reaction, some studies said that high catalyst loading improved the reaction yield and reduced the reaction time. However, there are some studies also said that excessive catalyst loading may reduce the reaction efficiency due to catalyst deactivation or side reaction. In novo-negro reaction, most of the studies use low catalyst loading and they rarely test using a higher catalyst loading, so it remains unclear on how catalyst loading affect the reaction efficiency. In epoxidation, studies also show that higher catalyst loading give a better yield. However, excessive catalyst loading also can cause over-oxidation and lowering the overall yield. Lastly, for ethanol's performance compared to other solvents, the results are mixed as well. In multi-component reaction, most of the studies says that ethanol outperform other solvent, but there are some studies reported that water-ethanol mixture works slightly better than ethanol alone. For novo-negro reaction, ethanol usually give good yield, but similar yield have been reported when using methanol, acetone, or even under solvent-free conditions. In epoxidation, ethanol usually give lower yield compared to other solvent, even under identical setup. This suggests that ethanol's polarity may not be suitable for all reaction mechanism. Moreover, research on the catalyst-solvent compatibility is still limited. Overall, this inconsistency shows that standardized testing and direct comparison are still lacking. The catalyst reusability and long-term stability are also rarely studied, which limit our understanding of ethanols through efficiency and sustainability. As a conclusion, this review shows that using organocatalysts with ethanol can enhance the reaction yield and aligns well with green chemistry principle. The objectives were achieved through review of the recent studies. However, the inconsistencies and research gaps show that more standardized and comparative studies are needed to fully confirm their true potential for sustainable chemical practices. For the future recommendation, I would like to suggest the future researchers to use a standardized experimental condition and report all the key parameters clearly. Directly compare ethanols with other green solvents under identical setup and test the combined effect of multiple variables and not just focusing on one single factor. Lastly, the reusability of catalysts should be included to evaluate its true sustainability. So these are my references that I have used. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. I would like to thank my supervisor, Dr. Nur Aisyah Abdullah, for her support and guidance.